Before we begin today's episode, a poem. Oh, the places your company surely will go if your crew is engaged and they're ready to grow. They're sparky, they're sharp, they give all they've got. They make every moment a wow on the spot. An engaged team's a treasure, so cherish them well. Their magic creates stories your customers tell. They'll solve every problem with purpose and care. They're the heartbeat of business. They're fully aware. But beware, oh beware, of a dangerous plight. The disengaged crew. Things don't feel quite right. They're stuck in a funk. They're bored to the core. And their ripple? It spreads through the team, and much more. Their yawns echo loudly, their passion runs thin, and soon even customers feel it sink in. The vibe gets all sour, the trust starts to break. It's not just the biz, it's their own lives at stake, because work isn't work. It's a part of their soul. It's the journey they take toward their personal goal. If they're lit up and thriving, they bring that back home, to the people they love, where their hearts truly roam. So nurture your team like a band on the rise. Give them rhythm and freedom and truth, no disguise. Build cultures of care, where they're heard, where they shine, and you'll see the results ripple out over time. CX and EX. They're not worlds apart. They're stitched into one, like punk to its art. And remember, dear listeners, no one's just a cog. Your employees are heroes, not chained to the slog. So tune in, my rebels, grab coffee, let's play. And remember, this used to be Coffee with Dave. It's CX Riot Radio, raw, real, and true, where employee experience starts and spreads right to you. Get it? Got it? Good. Now roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Dave. I'm Dave, and this is Coffee. Today, we're going to be talking about this thing called employee engagement, or lack thereof. So, I read an article last night that shook me to my core, that scared the willies out of me, that give me the Wiggins. And this stat was 13% of all employees across the board, this is nationwide, are actively unengaged in their work, in their career, in their job, right? And just imagine that these are the people that just don't care. These are the people that come in, do less than the bare minimum, and only rise up when they know they're going to get in trouble, right? These people have checked out. These people have quit, but they refuse to leave. So, why are these people bad other than the obvious, that they're not doing much and they just don't care? Well, because the next group above them, 67% are unengaged. They're not actively unengaged, they're just unengaged. They care, they do the minimum, they do what it takes to keep their jobs. But this 13% are dragging down the 67%, trying to convert them into actively unengaged. So, and across the board in the United States, only 15% of all employees are actively engaged in their career and their job, which is scary. That's only 15%. That leaves 85% that are just there, right? I mean, you got a small segment between the 67 and the 15 who, well, yeah, They're there. Cool. Awesome. They're doing pretty good work. They care a little, but they're more mercenaries than they are patriots. The 15% of actively engaged employees are patriots. Now, I'm not telling you to simp for any company, right? But if you're doing something, you might as well do it and enjoy yourself while you're doing it. Now, myself, for example, I love what I do. Not every day is wine and roses, but I love what I do, and I love the people I do it for, my team. And I couldn't imagine being in the bottom 13%, because that's scary to me. That's depressing to me. Why would I want to be somewhere that I actively hate, that I actively don't like? That sounds like, well, honestly, it sounds like hell to me, because one, they have to be so bored. They have to be so miserable. And being miserable is just not my cup of coffee. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be miserable where I spend more than a third of my life. That sounds awful. So, why have these 13% quit but refuse to leave? Is it comfort? Is it lack of self-esteem, where they think they can't do better than what they're currently doing? Or are they so consumed with bitterness and hate and rage that they're trying to actively sabotage the company that they're working for? And I don't know. I guess it's on a personal level, and I guess every one of the 13% are different because they are all individuals. They all have their own reasons, but these 13%, why are you doing that to yourselves? Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to have a little bit of fulfillment? Don't you want to be where you feel that you're appreciated? Don't you want to be, the question comes back, don't you want to be happy? Why are you doing something that you don't want to do? We live in an age where people can do pretty much anything they want. Every piece of human knowledge is available. If you want to do something different, look it up. Apply yourself to moving on. It's kind of ridiculous that you're not. You're only hurting yourself. That's not true. You're not only hurting yourself, you're hurting the people around you. You're dragging them down with you. You're spreading your misery. And I know that misery loves company. I know it's an old saying, and it's true. People who are miserable want to be miserable with other people who are also miserable. And if someone's happy, they want to take that person and make them not happy. Why? I don't know why. Just one of those things. I don't understand it on a personal level. On more of an empathetic level, yeah, I get it, I guess. So, what I'm proposing here is either step up, engage, become better at your job, become better in your life, and maybe, if possible, join that 15% of actively engaged employees. Because honestly, if you're not, what are you doing? Yeah, you're spending a third of your life working for a place that you actively don't like or actively don't care about. That sounds awful. And you shouldn't do that. It's putting yourself through unnecessary stress, and you're not taking advantage of the opportunities, because no matter where you are, no matter what you do, you are acquiring skills that you didn't have before, or you're perfecting the skills that you already do possess. And if you're actively disengaged, you're not working on those skills. So there's another reason that people can become actively disengaged, and that's just by being bad at your job. Nobody likes doing things they're bad at. Nobody likes doing things that they aren't good in. And I know that's the same thing that I just said, but why aren't you good at your job? If it's a lack of training, get the training. Be like, hey, I'm not really clear on this. Can you show me? Or anything like that. Like, you can get better at your job. All you have to do is try to reach out to, And if this group is saying, I don't get paid enough to be trained, or to utilize the training, or utilize these skills, or increase my skills, that's not going to change, because there's no reason to give someone who is actively disengaged and doesn't care more money. It's because they're not bringing value to the company. In fact, they're doing the exact opposite. They're making it harder for the company to make money, which means it's harder to give people raises. Now, the more engaged an employee workforce is, the better the company's revenue gets. It's a proven fact. So the 15% of actively engaged employees makes the revenue makes 60% of the revenue for the company, while the actively disengaged loses money for the company. And thankfully, the 15% of actively engaged is slightly bigger than the 13% of actively unengaged. But that 67% of just unengaged, just normal, hey, I'm here for a paycheck, they're usually not making the company that much money anyway, and they have the risk of sliding down to that 13%. So what I suggest to those people, the people that are unengaged, get engaged. And for the people that work for them, and what I mean by that is their leaders, is to make it easier for them to be engaged. So talk to them. See what's up. Have some empathy. We want to turn those mercenaries into patriots, not only for the betterment of the company, which to me is a side note, is a side effect, but we want to make those unengaged employees happier with the 1/3 of their life that they're with us for, right? Now, we have no control over the other 2/3, but come on, the happier, the more engaged someone is work, the happier and more engaged they're going to be outside of work. The actively unengaged are, well, if they're miserable in the 1/3 that they're with us, just imagine what their personal life is like. So, because that misery, that negativity doesn't stop when they clock out, at least for the most part. They carry that home. They constantly have a bad day. And normally when someone has a bad day and is consistent, they take it out on the people closest to them. Their kids, their spouse, their friends, their family, themselves. And stop doing that to yourselves. Stop doing that to your family. Now here's something else. The more you complain to your friends, your family, whatever, the less they're going to care. That's just the truth. The more you complain, the more you moan, the less they care. They're going to have one question for you. And it's the same question I have for you. Why aren't you doing anything about it? Period. It's on you if you're one of these 13% of the actively unengaged. So if it's for a reason that you need more training, reach out and get more training. If it's because you think that you don't have the skills necessary to do your job effectively, get the skills to do your job effectively. This is 2021, and I hate saying it's current year, but it's true. You can search things on Google. Hey, how do I do this? Oh, look, 10,000 articles, 10,000 videos, and 10,000 blog posts on how to do this exact thing. Huh. Well, that was easy. Maybe I can apply this to my job. Unfortunately, a lot of the actively unengaged don't think like this because it's all about me. It's all about I. It's all about how they're wasting my time and they're taking advantage of me. When honestly, you're taking advantage of yourself and you're taking advantage of whoever you work for. So maybe you want to have a little bit of self-awareness and a little bit of self-clarity and stop doing that. It's honestly the only way that you'll, one, stop being so miserable and dragging people down with you down that rabbit hole of misery, and get engaged. Why not? Why make 1/3 of your life at least miserable? Why spend 1/3 of your life doing something that you don't want to do? And to the people that are the 15% of actively engaged, you're awesome. You're awesome. Just let's keep at it. You're amazing. The people that are engaged but not actively engaged, you're cool too. I love you. For the unengaged, let's get you up there. And for the actively disengaged, either come forward and apply yourself and do the best you can, or cut the cord. I don't know. But that's it. Finish the rest of your coffee. I know I will. And I'll see you guys next time on Coffee with Dave. Have a great and productive day.